In a heart-wrenching development that underscores the ongoing human cost of the Israel-Gaza conflict, Israel has identified the remains of 2 more hostages, bringing a sliver of closure to grieving families, but also reigniting tensions over the stalled ceasefire negotiations. But here's where it gets controversial. While Israel demands the return of all 28 deceased hostages as a condition to reopen the Rafah border crossing, Hamas accuses Israel of using this as leverage, leaving thousands of Palestinians stranded and in dire need of medical care and family reunification. Could this be a fair negotiation tactic, or is it a humanitarian crisis in the making? Let's dive in. On Sunday, Israel confirmed the identities of Ronen Engel, a father of 3 from kibbutz near Oz, and Sontaya Akarasri, a Thai agricultural worker from kibbutz Be'eri. Both were tragically killed during the October 7th attack, and their bodies were taken to Gaza. Engel's story is particularly poignant. His wife, Karina, and 2 of their children were kidnapped but released during a ceasefire in November 2023. Their reunion, though bittersweet, highlights the fragmented nature of this conflict's toll on families. And this is the part most people miss: the Rafah border crossing. The only Gaza-Egypt passage not controlled by Israel before the war has been closed since May 2024. Its reopening is now tied to Hamas's compliance with the ceasefire terms, including the return of all deceased hostages. While Israel insists this is a matter of honoring the dead and their families, critics argue it's a political move that exacerbates Gaza's isolation. What do you think? Is Israel justified in its stance, or is this a step too far? Hamas has so far handed over the remains of 13 individuals, 12 of whom were identified as hostages. Israel claims one body did not belong to a hostage, raising questions about the accuracy of these exchanges. Meanwhile, the Palestinian Authority has outlined procedures for Palestinians wishing to use the Rafah crossing, with temporary travel documents issued by embassy staff in Cairo. Yet, with the crossing still closed, these measures remain largely symbolic. The ceasefire, brokered on October 10, aimed to end 2 years of devastating war. Key points include the handover of remains, aid deliveries to Gaza, and the future governance of the territory. But here's the kicker. Discussions for the second phase of the ceasefire, which includes disarming Hamas and establishing an internationally backed authority in Gaza, have begun, but both sides are already trading accusations of violations. Israel claims Hamas militants fired on its troops in Rafah, while Hamas denies this and accuses Israel of supporting armed groups in Gaza. Who's telling the truth? And can this fragile peace hold? Adding to the complexity, Hamas rejected a U.S. State Department claim of an imminent attack against Gaza residents, calling it a false allegation. The group instead accused Israel of backing armed gangs in Gaza, some of which Hamas-led fighters have clashed with, leading to widely condemned public executions. Is this a case of necessary law enforcement or a dangerous escalation? With over 68,000 Palestinian deaths reported by the Hamas-run health ministry, a figure deemed reliable by UN agencies, and thousands more missing, the stakes couldn't be higher. The war has also claimed around 1,200 Israeli lives, mostly civilians, and led to the abduction of 251 people. As talks for the ceasefire's second phase continue, the question remains, can both sides put aside their grievances long enough to secure a lasting peace? Or will the cycle of accusation and retaliation persist? What's your take? Is Israel's demand for all hostage remains a legitimate precondition or a tactic that deepens Gaza's suffering? And can Hamas be trusted to disarm and step aside for an international authority? Let us know in the comments. This is a conversation that needs your voice.